folks. Welcome to this episode on Techie Investor. Today, I wanted to briefly talk about the FAANG stocks and where they are heading to, and what are the targets that we should be looking at. Okay. For the benefit of long-term view, I'm going to look at the weekly charts so that will give you a much more clarity on where it could ultimately go and from where it can rebound. Okay. From the news front, yesterday Kramer came up and said that hey, August seems to be the charts are showing positive sign. So let's look at from that angle, are we really close to that positive sign? Okay. So today we'll be specifically looking at the FANG, which is nothing but the Facebook, Alphabet, Apple, Netflix, Google, and also we'll look at Microsoft. Okay. So that way we can. So first, let's look at Apple, which is the most favorite of a lot of stocks. So as I mentioned, I'm looking at only the weekly charts to get a clear clarity of where this can go. If you look at this, right, the stock has been, there is a heavy resistance here at 148. That is where it is going to 149 area. And then once it goes there, it is getting to the bottom of the cloud. So as you see that Apple is completely bearish. I mean, most of the stocks now are completely bearish. So you see this and then it is going. So where is the moving average 50? Moving average 50 is at 156. And if you see it, it is above the moving average 100. So which is a good sign. So will it go all the way to it? I'm not sure because there's a heavy resistance here. So what I'm thinking right now is if I draw this trend line like this, the Fibonacci. The Fibonacci last time it went to the 62.5 and it went further down, but it didn't touch the 126. So I am thinking it should not cross the previous high of 150.90. So if it goes, it should go to 126.51. But if you look at here, since it touched the 62.5, there's a possibility that it can go to either 1.125 or 1.625. But if I look at this, there's a moving average 200 at 102.12. So as the recession comes, we are all thinking about recession as the interest rates go up. And Apple, though it's a darling and we all love Apple, but still it's a luxury product, right? We don't need a cell phone, new cell phone during those recession times, and we'll cut down all our expenses. So I'm thinking that this could go all the way to 102.12. So it is just getting started, folks. The earnings are on the next week. If you see the earnings is on July 28th. So I still strongly feel that this could go to the 102.12. So having said that, the similar kind of stock is Microsoft. Microsoft, if you look at here, basically it has, Microsoft also has earnings next week. So all the big tech stocks will be reporting on July 26th, not the week after, right? So that is what we are looking at. So if you look at this, it has gone, if I look at the Fibonacci, it has gone to the 0.15 and then it didn't touch. So what I'm expecting is the minimum it could go is to, if you see it went up to 50 and then it is kind of rebounding. It didn't touch here, but I'm expecting at least 230.16. So once it reaches 230.16, but this moving average 200 is here. So this could go to, this could also be touched by, rebounding again and then coming back down. So possible, but I'm at least looking at 230.16 for the Microsoft. So when will that happen? First, what is happening here is Microsoft is looking to see it's somewhere close to the moving average 100 now. I expect this to go to 273, which is like here, and then it might fall down from there to 230.16. Is it possible? Yes, it is definitely possible. So it can go, it will not going to touch 279, but it goes to the 273 area, and then it goes down here. Okay, so 230 is the target for the Microsoft, I feel, before it can start rebounding. But again, as we all know, moving averages play a very significant role. So it might somehow find a way to come out here too. So, and it might come back. So it may not happen in a straight line, but it can go back and come. And the next one which I want to talk is Google. Google is like, if you see here, the Google has come back from here, right? Let's look at the simplest way is the Fibonacci, guys, and that would tell us where it could go, especially the third way. So it went to 25, and this is looking very good in the sense it has already touched the 1.625 from the 37.5. So does it have more room to go, down? I'm not sure about this, but if you can look at it, it is like it has a little bit more room to go up, because if you look at this trend line drawn between the higher highs, it has somewhere to go to the bottom of the cloud. But what I'm seeing here is it is still in downtrend, and it is not looking that great here in the coming weeks. So what we might see is we might see this going up to here for the earnings, and then up for the earnings, and then we might see that later coming back to the moving average 200. But you have to understand, folks, these moving averages also move up. As it goes up, this moving average also might catch up, and here is a trend line which is drawn between the lower lows, and we might look at the 2000. So if you look at all the stocks, folks, they are all looking at the round figures. So there could be a possibility that we are looking at 2000 for Google. And if you see for Apple, similarly, we saw like I was talking about 100, right? And if you see Microsoft is the exception, but for right now, if you see the moving average 200 is around 200. So I'm somehow getting a feel that all of them want to go to these round numbers, but Microsoft right now is showing 230, but it might go down further later at a later point of time. That's what I'm thinking. So we are not seeing a great earnings, folks. We might see a little bit of move here and there, but be cautious. And I mean, these are all great stocks fundamentally, but we need to give enough time for them to recover. And maybe by the end of the year, we might see that maybe not for this earnings, I feel. Okay, then the next one which I wanted to talk about is, what is it, Netflix? Yeah, let's look at Netflix. So Netflix is like beaten down to, so this is one of the stocks that can really come up because it is beaten down big time, and it has been crossing this trend lines. And we are seeing this, if you look at here, folks, it's below the conversion, and it is like around the moving average 10. So the conversion and the moving average are around the same area. So if you look at the next one is moving average, it's the baseline. The baseline is around 344. So to see that a huge gap is there. So I'm thinking if it can cross this moving average, I mean the conversion, I would be a big buyer of this one. With of course and enough time on it. So of all the stocks, I feel Netflix has some good move to go up. On the weekly charts, definitely buy long term, maybe deep calls once it crosses this, and we can see a significant move here. So Netflix would be on the radar, folks. That's what I would look at. Then the next one is the Meta. So yesterday, the day before yesterday, CNBC was big time shorting the stock because they felt because they unless shorting the stock, and they're saying that this stock is to sell unless they come up with a big news on Meta because as if we know that Facebook has been facing a lot of allegations on their social media, and that is not going to help them. So they have to find a way. And with the crypto market down, metaverse is like not looking very promising, right? But if I look at these charts, you see this, the chart is like, I'm looking at, again, folks, I'm talking purely from the charts perspective. What is it telling me? And I believe that it tells what the market wants to do. Here too, it is looking way below conversion, and it's way below the baseline. So these are the things, and it is way below the cloud. and it is way below the moving average 10. So somehow, see, you guys have to understand that always it is like an elastic band. It cannot keep on going down, right? So it has to come back up and then again might have to go down. So I'm not sure about the long run, but it looks promising for me. If it crosses this conversion, which is at 179, that would be looking awesome. That would be looking great for this. So, but meanwhile, let's see if how much downside does this have. If I draw a Fibonacci from all the way here, so this has already crossed, it went down below this. So it is maybe at the 262. So let's not draw from the all the way up there because it has already crossed the 162.5. So let's see, take the next high. So the next high is this one, right? So if I draw from here to here, so the sky has not even touched it, right? So I'm thinking there is a good scope, and you see that there is a trend line drawn from the swing lows, right? I'm looking at this. Sorry, folks, I'm trying to expand this, but this is coming up. So the trend line is drawn from here to here, and it is still going up. So what is going to happen is it is trying to find a way up. So this is one of the things. So we might see, and then, so this is the 202, and then it might come back here and then go here. So again, Facebook and Netflix are way beaten down, folks. If you look at the RSI, it is still at how much? RSI is at 3160 for Meta, and for Netflix, it is at 2556. So 2556. So Netflix seems to be a better bet, and Facebook is knocking at the door. So definitely, but don't buy it. Don't buy a stock that is all falling down. So wait for the confirmation of a 2-week confirmation for to cross above the this one above the conversion, and then you can play it up at least until the baseline, that is at 345, which is a pretty big move. We are talking about at least $150 move. Okay, so we covered FAANG, we covered Facebook, we covered Alphabet. Oh, the last one is nothing but the Amazon. So if you look at Amazon, even Amazon has been beaten up. You see that it is below the moving average 200, and it is way below the moving average, all the moving averages. In fact, it is way below this thing. So where is it? Now, again, my philosophy is very simple. Simple Ichimoku thing. We can see that the conversion is at, okay, so before that, where could it go? So I'm thinking Meta, Netflix, even Amazon is like almost at the bottom. If I draw this Fibonacci and it says it has already touched the 62.5, the next stop for it is 92.56, and the other one, or it could go to 57.78, which I very much doubt, because it has already touched the 100, the round number, and it has a little bit scope. It would go a little bit down to 92.56, this area, and then it would start rising up. So where could it go? The baseline is around 135.87. So it may not touch that, but we might see, am I right? Let me see, is the baseline at, yeah, 136.05. So we might see something like, around 130, we should see 130, folks. So that would be the move for Amazon. And then after that, it might again have a fall. So that we don't know where it will fall and what would happen there, right? So here it reached the 128. If you see the previous high, 129, it reached the high of 128.99. So will it go and touch the baseline? There's a possibility that it could go all the way, and it could even go up. So, but I would wait for this 92.56 to buy Amazon, okay? So these are the kind of stocks. So of all the stocks, I feel we should look at Netflix, Meta, and Amazon more, and we should allow Microsoft, Google, Google, if I'm right, it has a little bit more scope. I want this moving average 200, or I need a double confirmation that it can go above the conversion, going above the baseline. You have to remember, folks, baseline is above everything else. Unless the conversion comes and crosses the baseline, we are not in real uptrend. So that's what I'm saying. So what target point that we talked about may also be a short term, but it's a pretty big move, good move if you want to wait for at least for next year leap calls. All these ideas might be good for leap calls for next year 2023 or even 2024. So if you're guaranteed, if you want to make some money on it. So that's all I wanted to share today, folks. And again, folks, all the information presented in this video is for educational purposes. You can use this information for your trading needs, but remember, folks, you're solely responsible for your decisions. Okay. So I'll catch you in the next video.